to the Bitter Truth podcast. This is episode number 6 of the second season, and I am so delighted to be back with one of my dearest friends and collaborators, Dr. Sinéad Corrigan. You may recognize her from season 2, episode 3, a few episodes ago, where we talked all about kidney jing and vitality, creativity, sexuality, life force, and people had so many questions and such great feedback that I immediately wanted to bring Dr. Sinéad back because she is just such a wealth of knowledge. And we actually have another episode scheming up in the horizon as well on men's reproductive health and probably many more other ones to come. So much more to come with Dr. Sinéad. Just a little intro about her amazing work. Dr. Sinéad Corrigan is a doctor of Chinese medicine, a board-certified herbalist, and a licensed acupuncturist in both North Carolina and Hawaii. Her private practice is focused on preventative medicine, reproductive health, and natural beauty and skincare, which is the theme of our talk today. You all are in luck. And she weaves movement as medicine into every treatment. She's a 4-time certified yoga instructor and has been teaching yoga since 2009 and Qigong since 2016. As a senior HealingTao USA Qigong instructor, Sinéad certifies others to teach the beautiful practice of Qigong. So thank you so much for being here, Sinéad. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Always very happy and excited to chat with you.
Yay. You're the best. I'm so happy to have you back. Okay, great. So to dive in today, we want to just start right off with, why do we want to be beautiful? What is the point? Like in this world where everyone is telling us, you need Botox, you need all these things to be perfect, you need these $500 skincare products, etc. Why do we want to be beautiful to begin with?
Before you listen to the answer, for those watching the recording, I would pause and ask yourself and answer for yourself, because I do think that it's important for you to answer first. That being said, in Chinese medicine, and I'm going to give a very poetic answer to start, but I will make it very practical. Beauty is harmony. And nature, when we go out into nature, we are struck by beauty in a way that it's innate. So when we're in nature, beauty feels innate. And when we look at our health, or if we're outside in nature and we are, let's say we're inside all day working on the computer, and then the next week we're outside all day viewing beautiful nature, how do you think you're going to look different at the end of those 2 weeks? I think we've all had experiences, and it's not just about being on vacation. It's something about the relationship between our body and the body of nature, because the entire premise of Chinese medicine is that when your body is in harmony with nature, then you will have health. And what does that mean? It means we eat from the land. We go to sleep and rise with the sun or close to it. It means that we are adjusting our energy level and activity level according to the forces of nature that support our physical body. And the health of the body is inextricably linked from its environment. And in Chinese medicine, again, because beauty is harmony and harmony is health, math, beauty equals health. And so I would say beauty is health, but it's not the type of health you might think, because I've definitely been in, and I'm sure many people listening to this can relate, the type of healthy where you have like a 6-pack of abs and perfect tan and you look really good on the outside, and then inside you are depressed, highly functioning, like living on adrenaline. And that works for a period of time. And then at some point you're like, gosh, maybe I look good, but I'm so intensely controlling my appearance, and I'm not actually enjoying what it takes to get there. And that's a problem, because joy is also very important for beauty. I would say that beauty, and we'll talk about this later, I know, is a feeling, not just something that we see, that's something that we can see. But when we look out into nature, nature has fractal patterns. Nature is symmetrical, or there's a lot of symmetry that we're seeing inside of these organic structures. And traditionally, like in Greek societies, we would look at someone and think that, oh, beauty is symmetry. But the symmetry, when an original cell divides in embryology, it's like, okay, that division process happens as a result of health. Like the health, we'll talk about Qigong later, the health of the parents. Like this is what's dictating the development of the fetus, and the environment in which the fetus is developing in the mother's womb is also dictating the way in which those cells are dividing. So the yin and the yang unify, and then it splits into the 10,000 things and your body and the 5 elements that we see in nature. So making it practical now, the 5 elements of nature in Chinese medicine, we don't need to name them all right now, but when those 5 elements are in harmony, our body is in harmony. And we would say the body is a microcosm of nature. So if we want to be beautiful, it's like wanting to be in harmony. It's like wanting to experience unity with nature. And we all know when we stand on top of a mountain, or we look at a sunset, or we're standing in the forest, there is a deep peace that comes over us that's innate to our physiology, innate to our being. It's primal. Our physical bodies are just one dimension of self, and we often look at beauty as a physical thing, which it's much more than that. But this primal desire to experience peace and harmony is the same desire that is us wanting to feel beautiful. And the last thing I'll say about that in the Chinese medicine poetic philosophy, before I give another practical idea of it, is there's this idea of the metal element in Chinese medicine, which is the one most associated with beauty. And the metal element, you see my instrument in the back. Metal is, stringed instruments are very metal. It's all about, you could say discipline, but more like structure. And the catchphrase of the metal element is turning lead into gold. It's alchemy. It's the process of taking something crude and over time, like chopping your axe, like chopping the wood down with your axe, refining it into something beautiful. And it's interesting because the metal element is associated also with the lungs, which relate to the skin of the whole body. Because when our breath is flowing, then all our cells are getting the oxygen and movement and nutrition and repair that they need. The skin, especially if you're thinking about your face for beauty, the lungs the health of the lungs are very important, the health of the breath. But on a deeper side, the lungs are related to us being born onto the physical realm. So this is called the Po spirit. And the Po spirit, there's spirits to all of the organs. It's not exactly the same way we think of spirit in religion. But it's the thing that in Chinese culture they would say becomes a gui, or a ghost. And it's our attachment to our physical body. Because what are we when we are an embryo? We're not breathing through our lungs. We're surviving through the umbilical cord, which is a lot about what Qigong practice is. And that's actually how you can return some of your vitality and beauty to you. Coming to that soon. But the lungs, they bring us into the earthly plane. And so when we're on this earth, one of the things that metal element is about is following your human needs. Sleep, sex, food, pleasure, beauty, developing skills that help you survive on physical earth. And it is this alchemy of the challenges in our life that allow us to continue to live and breathe. And like a lot of us stop breathing when things get difficult. And when we let go, when we lose that flow, it's like losing connection to the fact that, oh my God, I'm alive. And when you're cherishing being alive, it's like harmonizing yourself, creating nourishment for yourself, making your life beautiful is not so much anymore like a task you have to achieve. It's more like, oh my God, this is an incredible gift to take all these challenges and create something beautiful out of them. So I would say beauty is also taking challenging things and finding new levels of open-heartedness with them, because metal is also like a storm. It's grief. So when a storm is passing through and life is crazy and like you're like, oh my God, like I'm not sleeping at all and I look like shit and I feel like shit. Like when the storm is passing, after the storm passes, there is incredible clarity. There is freshness in the air. There is like an unmistakable newness. It's like a rebirth. And I think that if we can make it through these moments of rebirth by staying centered in what our body needs in the moment, aka finding harmony with nature, then we will we will feel and look better at the end of those challenges. Because if I were to sit here and say beauty is like having perfect skin and having the perfect body, that's not going to help you, because then you're going to force yourself to do what you think is healthy to get there. What's going to help someone feel and look beautiful, in my experience, is actually listening to what the body needs in relationship to that 5-element structure, which we can get into as much or as little as we want today, and really feeling gratitude for being alive in a physical body, and yeah, letting the heart crack open. Because this is the last thing I say, and then I want to, I've been talking a lot, so I want to pause, but
I love it.
My face reading teacher, Lillian Pearl Bridges, she passed away, but she was this really funny and profoundly insightful woman, many generations of face reading in her family. And she said the thing that makes someone the most beautiful is their spirit coming back into their body. And what is the spirit? The spirit is joy. The spirit is being lit up by your life, following your desires, being connected to what really matters to you. And when you have that, then the light is shining from the inside out, and you will want to take care of yourself. It won't be a chore to do all of these things that keep your body healthy and beautiful and happy.
Wow, mic drop. I'm truly amazed. And I feel like you already have touched on so many of the things that I had questions about. Yeah, especially in this world where we're told that beauty is something that you have to do and create and constantly be working at. I was kind of in preparation for this episode, I was asking friends and community, like, what do you do for your like beauty? And especially my like female friends or people who identify as women, it was like multi-thousand-dollar project a month where it's like waxing, eyelashes, teeth whitening, sometimes like tanning, yeah, all the makeup, all the skincare products, now all the like botox things that are being like pushed to us. And it does feel like a chore. It's like, okay, these are all the things I have to do in order to meet these conventional beauty standards. And then as you kind of have alluded to, and we're going to talk more about, do you even feel beautiful on the inside, no matter how conventionally attractive you might look because of these thousands of dollars of procedures and products that you've purchased. So really flipping that narrative to how do we cultivate beauty from within through our harmony with ourselves and harmony with nature, and then trusting that that beauty then ripples outwards. And it's not just like, oh, like you're beautiful, like your mom says, you're so beautiful. But it's like, no, this true, authentic glow and deep self-care that you then embody as a result of that like self-love practice. Wow, I love it. Have you found, so as a cosmetic acupuncturist and someone who supports people a lot with beauty, how do you, I guess, help people connect to that more innate sense of beauty and innate sense of joy and purpose versus just helping people with the like cosmetic surface level things that they are wanting to work on?
First, they have to want to work on that, because not everyone that comes is interested in that level of change. Some people want a mechanical mechanical assistance, like more blood flow to the face, relaxation of the neck and the shoulders so that the blood can make it to the face, nervous system regulation through the full body acupuncture, which is included in every appointment, nervous system regulation through the massage of the face, where you have so many nerves in your face and they also relax your whole body. For some people, that's all they can handle in a way. Like they don't have that resourcedness to want to explore these deeper layers of self-worth. But if someone is interested, the first thing is to feel emotions. Feel emotions that are uncomfortable. In Chinese face reading, each part of the face corresponds to a different internal organ, and each internal organ corresponds to a different set of what's called quote unquote positive and negative emotions. This is also from Qigong. Negative doesn't mean bad, it means the opposite energy. So like with the liver, for example, it's anger and frustration. And the other side of that is compassionate action, kindness. And so you could take it in either direction. And the anger is necessary to like create boundaries and elicit change and all of these things. So it's not bad. It's just when something comes prolonged and stuck, you're going to start to feel it in the physiology and you're going to start to see it in the face. And the thing that I would say actually ages people the fastest is, yes, lack of sleep for sure, but also not processing emotions. And this is something that has never been a part of Western culture. And it is something that I think would actually revolutionize Western culture if we did it on a mass scale, because when you are not numb anymore, you will make change without effort. Or you will be forced to, you'll be forced to feel, and then you will start to recognize, oh, actually, I don't feel good when I wake up at 5 a.m. and do a HIIT workout. Oh, actually, after I drink wine at night, I don't sleep well, and then I feel terrible the next day, even though I feel relaxed for the 30 minutes that I'm doing it. And this is no shame on anyone's habits. It's about awareness, because what one of my Qigong teachers says, and Qigong is definitely something I prescribe to people who are interested in this emotional work, is you don't get rid of a bad habit. You replace it with another one that feels even better, that is in alignment with the self that you want to resonate with. Because the self that has that bad habit, it's not the habit that's the problem. It's the identity structure that is being held together through continuing that habit. So instead of trying to focus on what to stop doing, like stop drinking wine, stop going to bed late, then instead focus on, okay, go on a walk for 10 minutes every day. Lay down and massage my face for 2 minutes because it just feels good. I ask people to add small things that feel really good to their nervous system, to their heart, and we start there. And of course, I provide an enormous number of like dietary recommendations, supplement recommendations, all the things that you can do on a practical level. But if the emotions aren't there, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, like you need that emotional fire underneath if you want to make a real change. And when you can tap into somebody's why, like when someone comes in for a consult with me, I'm like, why? I know it sounds like a dumb question because I know we all want to feel beautiful, but why do you want this? Why do you want to look better? And if you keep digging at that question, they're like, oh, well, actually, and XYZ answer will come out. And so it's not about being more beautiful. It's about getting the feeling underneath, like what you think you'll get as a result of being beautiful. Like, for example, one woman's like, my most recent initial consult, she's like, oh, I feel more confident dating because I really want a relationship. I really want connection. So I'm like, okay, you don't want beauty. You want connection. You want a deep feeling of love in your life. And, so it's like getting to the real reason, because we don't take care of ourselves for the sake of taking care of ourselves. We take care of ourselves because, like, anyone with kids will know this. I've heard everyone with children say this. It's like you do it because you know that you want to support that being. There's no question in your mind. You're awake, you're up, and you're like, I'm doing this because I want them to have a good life or whatever it is. And for yourself, you know, when I wake up in the morning, it's like, why am I going out and doing Qigong every day of my life? Because the freedom that it creates in my heart, I feel resonate out to the world. And to me, in my experience, there has been nothing more valuable than resonating the freedom in my heart. It's so powerful. It's free. It's always present. So it's like, find your why for wanting to be beautiful. And that is the first step into going deeper, feeling the emotions, finding the why. And with the emotions often comes the why.
I love that so much. I'm like teary.
Me too. I also
Uh, yeah, because so often in life, it's all just the things that we should do, that we have to do. And I highly recommend going back and listening to our last episode because as two high achieving babes here, I think we can definitely resonate with that feeling of like, oh, I have to exercise. I have to do this beauty routine. I have to achieve in this and that way. And I can imagine people with kids, even it's like, oh, I have to do these things but ultimately we're doing so many of those things because of love, because we love ourselves, because we love our kids, because we love our community, we love the earth. And ultimately, we want to connect back to that feeling of love, whether it's through connection or harmony with the earth, or just feeling like proud of what we've achieved and following our soul purpose on this planet. So I just feel like that is so important. I'm gonna like after this gonna sit down and write down what is my why for even for doing anything. It's funny. It's like this is about beauty, but it's about so much more than beauty. It's about
Yeah.
the way we live our entire lives.
Why is the beauty industry $1 trillion industry? There is a lot of power underneath this desire to be beautiful. And to me, that power is wanting to so desperately reconnect with nature, so desperately reconnect with love. That's it. Like we want to feel love in our heart. Because when we feel love in our heart, we are beautiful. How many times have you fallen in love and you're like, damn, I look good?
Totally.
Because this is where beauty comes from. And if you can learn to cultivate that from within, like, wow, I mean, you'll sparkle.
Wow, that is so true. Genius. Okay, well, because you mentioned it earlier, and I feel like people will have like questions and curiosities about this, let's talk a little bit more about the face map because this is something that also, as I was like gathering questions and ideas for this podcast, a lot of people were like, wrinkles. I want to know about wrinkles. Like, what do my 11 lines mean? What do my forehead lines mean? What do my like crow's feet mean? And as we know, there's like much deeper layers to this. So I feel like it would just be so great to go over what does the face tell us when we're looking at the face, because it's such an ancient and incredible science and it's so much deeper than just wrinkles.
Mm-hmm. I think first it is important to acknowledge the physiological changes because the physiological changes are coming from a lot of the deeper work that we would do, for example, with like emotional resolution or trauma resolution or systemic inflammation that's resulting from those things. And not just from emotional things, but from abusing our body in different ways. So the first thing I want to start with is these cycles of 7 for women. In one of the oldest Chinese medicine texts, it talks about like why we age, and it says cycles of 7. And I wrote this in my most recent blog post in more detail, so I'll send you that. But it at basically at 35, so 5 times 7 is when what's called the Yang Ming channel it starts to get depleted, and this is related to your digestion. So the digestion is weaker. So we're getting less absorption of nutrients from our nutrition, and therefore we cannot feed our skin as well. But also the yang energy travels, and yang you can think of as like sunshine, movement. Yin you can think of as like moonlight, stillness. They're relative terms, but the yang energy needs to rise. The blood and qi need to rise to the face. And if we have no yin, which you can think of as like your juicy hormones, your nice deep sleep, your regulated nervous system, then there is nothing for that. There's nothing like that yang energy can use to rise. So if your digestion is compromised, your yin is compromised, and you don't have the energy necessary to nourish the tissues. And so this is like a very watered down, oversimplified version of like East meets West for like the start of aging. The way in which our body becomes inflamed systemically, and inflammation is not the reason. This is not the reason for all bad things, but I would say that many people are chronically inflamed, mostly from diet. Diet is a huge cause of premature aging, mostly just lacking proper nutrition, not even eating like quote unquote unhealthy things, but just not getting enough of the good stuff. And when you don't get enough of the good stuff, you don't have what's needed to quell that excessive inflammation. But there's another deeper layer, which is pollution. Our air is polluted, our water is polluted. And so the constant cascade of inflammation occurring is really not just a my health problem and a me aging problem. It's our environment aging us problem. Mm-hmm. And this is we could do a whole other podcast episode about that. But for now, I'll say, there are external causes of inflammation. And then not to make everything about emotions, but people don't realize that when you have an emotional response, first of all, it's from your perception of the event, not the event itself. The same two people could experience any number of stressors, and different people would react differently internally, chemically. So perceived stress, cascade. The liver has to metabolize your stress hormones. And the liver in Chinese medicine is one of the most blood-rich organs in the body. And when the liver is burdened constantly with this processing, metabolizing of your internal stress hormones, then it's going to basically, you could think of it as like dirtying your blood. It's not exactly true, but it's like your blood that's rushing through your skin, that's rushing through every part of your body, the skin of your face, the every cell in your body is like, and especially if you're not resting. So the blood is really not going back to the liver, especially if you're not taking a break from snacking, the blood is really not going back to the liver. And then you get this like quote unquote dirty blood or inflammation, or you're not getting the proper flow of nutrition to your cells. And this is all as a result of perceiving stress, not making time for your nervous system settle to process that stress, and not doing any work at all on reprogramming that stress response. And like, no shame, no blame. It's just a thing that is very common. Same me too. There's lots of things that I react to that I would love to learn to not react to. So yeah, there's this, that's like a very mini, like super watered down version of like physiologically what's going on. Then with the face itself, specific regions, like I mentioned earlier, specific organs are related to. The forehead would be related. There's multiple maps, I should say first. There is what's called the age map, so different lines on the face corresponding to what happened to you at different ages of life. There is the emotional map, where emotions show up on the face. There is the physiology map, where the physiology imbalances show up on the face. There is right and left side of the face. Right side is more how you want the world to see you. Left side is more how you really are inside. That's again just like the basics of it. The three zones of the face, the upper, middle, and lower, and each one means a different thing about how you take in information. And there's more, but the one that I'll talk about is the physiology map and the emotional map. And so one of the examples is the forehead. Lines on the forehead were related to the bladder meridian. And because the bladder meridian, and by the way, a meridian, for those who are not familiar with acupuncture, is a place in the body where you can affect the function of an organ non-locally. And another caveat, organs in Chinese medicine are not just like the bladder organ. It is the system of functions that relate to the bladder. So, for example, the bladder is the bladder itself, but it also is related to this connective tissue, sympathetic nervous system that runs from the inner eyebrow corners all the way down the sides of the spine and down the back of the legs. So it's kind of related to like the vagus nerve, for example. It's related to the emotion of fear. It's related to the kidneys, which relate to the reproductive health. So there's all these terms that need defining when talking about like, oh, the bladder in the face. It's not just your bladder, it's other things too. But for example, lines in the forehead could be an overactive sympathetic nervous system. And mechanically, why? Because when we're running away from something, literally or metaphorically, the back body becomes tense. And when the back body is tense, the connective tissue is tense. So likely someone has tension in their scalp, tension in their entire back body, and it's leading to the wrinkling of the forehead. And then, if your skin is dry on top of that, that's also going to create these lines. So people becoming aware of their facial expressions is important, but also recognizing that it's not the local area necessarily that's causing the lines. It's the meridian channel. It's the functions related to the area of the face that correspond with that organ system. And I don't want to make it sound like horribly complex. It's actually not, because, for example, the under eyes, the bags under the eyes, those are related to the kidneys. But what people don't understand about the kidneys, it's like, it's not just about sleep. I wrote a blog post on this as well. It's about going into states of deep rest and recovery. And sleep is often not enough. And that's not to say, oh shit, now I have to add like 20 minutes of deep sleep into my routine and I'm so fucking stressed that I can't do that. Fuck, I'm fucked. It's like, no, it's fine. Just do what feels good. And yeah, but yeah, bags under the eyes, kidneys. I'll just briefly go through each area so we have people like have basics. Cheeks, it can be your diet is not good, or it can be your air is polluted. The redness in the cheeks show up there. For your liver, you'll see it in those 11 lines. We call it stagnation of chi, stagnation of emotions. It can be like over controlling yourself or your environment. Also, unexpressed frustration. It can also be that the body just literally needs more physical movement, either more physical movement or more movement of emotions, because these lines form when we're like feeling stagnant in some type of way, physically or emotionally. And then the smile lines are really interesting. They're related to digestive strength and weakness. Jowling oftentimes happens, well, we would say it's a spleen qi deficiency. Spleen in Chinese medicine, it's one of those terms that, again, needs defining. It's the digestive strength, immune strength, and circulation. But you can think of it as digestive strength for these purposes. When you're eating irregular meals, coffee on an empty stomach in the morning, not getting eating foods that are hard to digest. This is all going to weaken and cold foods. They're all going to weaken the digestion over time. And this causes overall sagging in the face, but especially in the jaw area. And then the jaw area, like jaw tension, is related to the gallbladder meridian. Because gallbladder, its emotional correspondence is frustration. And when we're frustrated, we may be clenching our jaw, or when we're stressed out and our nervous system is overstimulated, we might tense our jaw. And so when we're tensing our jaw, it's going to lead to a sagging of this part of the face as well. Also neck tension. This is on the more like mechanical side. People are looking down at their phone all the time, and the forward head posture actually causes tension in the occipital area, which causes you to need to grip your jaw when you breathe. Like your airway is closed, and so you have to grip your jaw to take a proper breath. So just correcting someone's posture sometimes can also influence the jowling. And the jaw tension. The lips, well, there's too many things. I don't want to go too much into detail. I actually have a whole course on this called Glow from Within, and it just started there, and it's all recorded, but there's a whole entire lecture on the map of the face. It's class 1. I go deep into every area of the face. And then in the class that's coming next, we're going to talk about the meridians that go to the face and how each meridian has a relationship to a part of the body. So if you want to work with the tissue of the face, the connective tissue that surrounds the whole face, you also need to work with the rest of the body, the rest of the posture, the way you're breathing into your abdomen, the way you're holding your head, the way you're standing on your feet. All of these things will also influence. But that is just a small kind of preview of the map of the face. And if there are other lines that you want me to talk about, let me know. I'm happy to share that.
That is so amazing. Like truly such a treasure chest of wisdom. I just think it's so incredible that traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, pretty much every medicine, like every traditional medicine form, has developed these deep forms of understanding of how all these other aspects of the body relate to us, health information, whether it's looking at the hands, the feet, the ears, the face, the eyes, the lips. It's like every single part of us can tell us an entire map of our well-being. And it just blows my mind every single time learning about it, because it's the complete opposite of Western medicine. That's just like, oh, you have some acne. Well, probably you just need this one cream that might help reduce inflammation, or like somehow, oh, like that's just all eczema, or that's just all psoriasis, or that's just all acne, without any understanding of like what is the elemental nature of that skin imbalance, what is the organ, and beyond even the organ, like you said, the meridian, the whole energetic body. And also just the, like, I would love to geek out on this all day every day, so I highly recommend that people take your course to keep learning more and more, because I think if people knew that like Botox isn't going to resolve these underlying issues or imbalances, and actually by paying attention to them, it's a source, it's a pathway to deeper self-love and deeper self-care. I feel like it just totally, yeah, flips the switch. It's like, how can this actually,
Revolution.
how can what our face is telling us be a pathway into our purpose, self-love, etc.
Lillian talked about that. I don't have this skill, but she could look at people's face, and certain features on your face describe your life purpose, like the shape of your eyes, the shape of your nose, the shape of your whole face. They all are telling you something about your gifts. And your face, they call it like the original face. It's like this face you were born with actually is really telling of your gifts. And, for example, if you have like a lot of pointedness in your features, it's like it has to do with you being able to master a lot of things. You have the skill of mastery. Or if you have like a lot of pointedness, it's like you have a lot of fire element in your constitution, and so you need to go and do something with that fire. So it's not just, loving our skin's imperfections because they're messengers, but also loving the original shape of our face because it's telling you something about your destiny. Like, why does a thistle plant grow in a dry environment? Because it thrives there. Why do you like thrive in whatever place you're living? Because it's your place. And so if you're like, damn, I don't look good, but I want to keep living here, so I'm going to like fix my face so that I can keep living here. It's the wrong order. Like, let me go to the place where I look good. And then I'm like, okay. I think like there's some co-support happening here. And that's not to say, like everyone should go live in Hawaii, because actually like it's not for everyone. These really beautiful, what are said to be like beautiful, perfect places are really truly not for everyone, not constitutionally, not mentally, not physically. And so this is where the deep listening comes back in. And I do want to mention something about what you said of Botox, because this has been coming up so much, especially in my feed on social media because of my industry. And the thing is, when you do Botox, and again, I treat people who do Botox. I help their Botox last longer. I treat people who have filler after a certain number of weeks. And, it can help basically like distribute the filler better because the circulation to the face is better. So it has less likelihood of migrating and things like that. But what people don't understand is exactly what you said, where what happens in your face is reflecting what's happening in your internal organs, and it is a messenger. And if you cover it up, you do not get a chance to hear and address the message. Like, I'll give you a very personal and uncomfortable example. Like, my hair in the very front turned gray the day after I found out about like a family member's like sudden health decline. The next day. And hair, it changes in 30 days or 90-day cycles. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm not going to dye my hair. I'm going to give myself 3 months. I'm going to take my magnesium, not drink any caffeine, regulate my stress response, and it'll change back, because hair actually can change back from graying. But that's just an example of like, if I went and dyed my hair, I would have no idea if my inner body was actually repairing itself. And in some ways, it's like, it's fine. If you're going to go and do Botox and whatever, you are surviving. You're like, my face is important to look this way for me to feel safe. Please do Botox. Please take care of your nervous system. But just know there are options. And when you freeze your face, two really important things to motivate people, not to scare people, but to motivate people. One, you're freezing a part of the connective tissue. It's not just influencing your face. It's influencing that entire line of connective tissue. There is no more flow. There is no more blood flow to the face. What is lack of blood flow? Lack of nutrients, lack of oxygen, lack of all the things your skin needs to age well. So there's that. Then there is the empathy piece. And I work at a trauma therapy office as an acupuncturist as well. And what the somatic therapist at the office told me was that women, mothers who are getting Botox, they're no longer, like, the child can't see the empathy mirrored in the mother's face. And it's impacting their development. It's impacting their attachment style. It's impacting their nervous system. And so we need to be more responsible as women, as men. Like, what are we doing and not doing to address the deeper desire that we have, like the deeper desire we have to feel and look beautiful? Because there are repercussions to the quick fix. Please do the quick fix if that is what is, you're in survival mode and that's what you need. But if you're ready to consider that is a survival mode response, then there is a whole world waiting for you in Ayurveda, in Chinese medicine, in face massage techniques that will help you touch the tension underneath, the message underneath that's just screaming to be heard.
That is so special. I love that. Yeah, it's really kind of sad that this is the reality that we've been fed, that is like women are supposed to look the exact same from the time that you're 18 and for the rest of your life. And the result of that is loss of connection and loss of empathy, not being able to show the experiences that you've had in your life, and not being able to acknowledge the beauty of a life well lived and like all the experiences that we have had. So it's really, so important that we get to actually acknowledge how special all these experiences and like our ability to feel emotion is. Yes. Okay. So now for everyone who's out there, like, okay, yeah, ladies, like, I get it. We're just going to love ourselves. We're going to hang out with the trees. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be beautiful. I think also there's this connection where it can go the other way. Like you said, like sometimes doing something that makes you look good can make you feel good. So perhaps like what is the approach to beauty and beauty practices that people can do or have a mindset around that will actually allow them to feel more beautiful too?
Yeah, there's so many. So the first thing I would say, just starting from the beginning of the day, is have a morning routine. Have a morning routine that centers you in yourself. And again, because food is such an easy start for some people, I would say, if you have like an eating disorder, that's maybe not the best place to start. I would not use food to intervene with your appearance. I would focus on healing that relationship first. But I would say, for me, my number one beauty ritual in the morning is Qigong, because I know that if I start my day with a regulated nervous system and centeredness and groundedness, then the whole rest of the day, I'm less emotionally reactive. And what does that mean? Less inflammation. And what does that mean? Less cellular aging. So, starting the day off with something that centers you. It doesn't have to be an elaborate, hour-long yoga and 30-minute breathing and whatever. It can be like, okay, I'm going to have tea and go on a morning walk or whatever it is. But something like that. The second very easy one is face massage. So not everyone is going to get into skincare. That's fine. I do have the last class I taught in the Glow from Within series was an entire lecture on skincare practices and this like basic things you can put on your skin morning and night to preserve mostly just collagen and elastin. But then there's the structural piece, which I think if people don't want to spend money on products, then they could at the very least massage their face with an oil that doesn't clog your pores. Like I love sweet almond oil. I love rosehip oil because it has vitamin C, which heals the skin. So there's so many videos on YouTube nowadays. I personally like, and I have a playlist of this that maybe I can share with you all. It's fascia facelift. And I worked at a spa in Kauai called Honest Rituals, and they do the buccal massage where you go inside the mouth and release the tension from inside the mouth. Heaven. You look like 5 years younger afterward immediately.
Wow.
Love it. Recommend. But if you're not going and getting these like $400 face massages, then instead you can follow these fascia facelift videos online. Some are without oil, some are with oil, but just literally bring the blood flow to your face. And I know we're talking here about like the face as beauty and of course the whole body, but your face has meridians that go to your whole body and nerves that affect your whole body. So, and neck and shoulders as well. So if you want to, one thing I do every single morning, I stretch my neck. I stretch my neck and I massage my shoulders and my neck at night before I go to bed. And this is bringing the blood flow to the face. And then I massage my face. You know, even if you don't know what you're doing, just like the feeling of your hands on your face and like this intention to relax and let go of the tension, it feels nice. And if it feels like a chore to you, don't do that one. Pick a different one. Other things that you can do for beauty, go in nature. I have done so much experimentation with this, and when I am in nature for prolonged periods of time, I get hotter. It is a sign. I swear to God. I know what to do. If I'm feeling ugly, like every time I would joke, every time I would go back to San Francisco for grad school, like after dancing all summer and like frolicking in the woods, you know, because I would always take a break in the summer, I'd be like, okay, time to get ugly again. Because I'm inside under fluorescent lights sitting for hours and it's time to get ugly. But of course, I think that the mind is very powerful and important there. So I can't say that 100% you will get ugly if you're sitting under fluorescent lights, though it will damage your skin. But yeah, I would say get out in nature. In my experience, it's very helpful. You're breathing fresh air, you know, you're getting sunshine, you're hearing the birds, you're calming yourself, you're regulating yourself in the most primal way we know how. Sleeping enough. It sounds like too easy, but again, when have I felt the most youthful looking? When I'm sleeping, not just enough, but early. I went to India for winter break, and then after because I was studying abroad in Hong Kong, and I went to India for like the whole month of December basically, and then I came back at the end of the semester and stayed for another whole month. And when I was in India, you know, everyone wakes up at like 4 a.m. because like what else are you gonna do in rural India, and goes to bed at like 8 p.m. like earlier in the winter. So I was doing this, and I was doing like, again, going back to the breathing exercises, hours of breathing and meditation per day. I kid you not, like I was already very young doing this. I was like 20 or something. But I got back and I'm like, I look 16. Like I took years off of my body and my face just by resting, just by, getting adequate recovery. And it's very challenging when we think that we need to spend a lot of money on beauty, because then we have to work more. And what happens when you work more? You get older faster? Not necessarily. Because again, the mind's perception of stress is more important than the stressor itself. So I do not think that there's a one-to-one correlation between working a lot and getting ugly or whatever. And you know, there's some things it's worth depleting your life force and your beauty for. It's worth getting uglier for, right?
Yes.
But in the case of like going back to preserve your health and your beauty and your well-being, like do it for a week at a time. Like, okay, this week I'm going to get the most amazing sleep of my life. I'm going to get off my phone at 5 p.m. and not look at it for the rest of the night so I can actually fall asleep. So yeah, those are a few that I can think of. And of course, water,
Yes, I love
filtered.
that. And I love how much it keeps coming back to intentionality. Like, there are things that we have to sacrifice for in our lives. There are things that will deplete our Jing. Definitely go back, everyone, right after this. If you haven't already, go back and listen to last episode, because there are things, the whole point of being alive is that we're going to be here to do the things that we love and put in the effort and learn the lessons we need to learn. But what capitalism and what this society as a whole does to us is it takes away our autonomy, and it just says, okay, well, you need to work in order to pay the bills. You have to do this, you have to do that. And life can happen so fast that we don't have the chance to think, is this how I want to be spending my life's energy and my vitality and that vital life force, the Jing that I have? And what it's really sounding like is this is an opportunity for people to take stock of their lives and think to themselves, is this worth me getting wrinkles over? Is this worth me looking depleted for? Is this worth me, having gray hairs or whatever it is? And of course, there's so many things that we cannot control and that we must do and that we don't necessarily have choice over. But I know for me, there's things that I do have choice over in this arena that I'm not like, looking at my phone at 10 p.m. at night when I really don't need to, or forcing myself to send that email at some particular time that I don't really need to, or being like, well, I have to run around and do this appointment, that appointment, when it's like, maybe I could be spending that time sitting outside on my deck or sitting with a friend or drinking a mug of tea or something, or doing a 5-minute face massage, 2-minute face massage, anything at all. And yeah, so I just love this invitation to slow down just enough to be like, is this how I want to be spending this precious life force that I have? And seeing how that ripples into our beauty and our love of life.
Absolutely. It's such a good question to ask. I could ask my question that myself more honestly, because when you're a very passionate person, like sometimes you get really scattered and you put energy into all these things, but are they actually giving back to you? Are they actually nourishing you? And something you mentioned that I feel like deserves mention in a beauty realm is community and feeling supported, because what is nervous system health is going to result in a more beautiful you. And what creates nervous system health is safety. And what creates safety is friendship and co-regulation and being with people that make you feel seen. Like, you are one of those people for me. And being with people that you can feel those emotions with, so they don't have to stay stuck inside. So like community and, knowing that, like you said, you're what are you spending this energy for? It's not just for you. It's for the collective. And, if we wanted to take it very, very deep, when people go on like 3-month, 3-day meditation retreat, traditional in Tibetan Buddhism, which is something I practice, they look younger afterward. Why? Because they are like in constant prayer for the world. And there is no more separation. Like, no one's hurting me. No one's going to hurt me. I can't hurt anyone. We're not separate. We're not separate. Like, your pain is my pain. Your stress is my stress. And not to say that I take it on and hurt myself, but to say that we're in this together. And the feeling that people get in the capitalistic structure is there's a threat. I have my tribe. I'm going to protect my tribe and my resource. But if we stopped looking at it like that and we started looking at it as like, we need to harmonize. It's like harmonizing all the cells in your body. It's like we need to work together. Like, yeah, my heart might want to, we got to dance all day. And my liver is like, no, bitch, you need to get on the computer and make this presentation. And I'm like, okay. So we've got to compromise. And it's the same with human beings. It's like, we've got to compromise. We've got to be like, okay, you want, and that's where the deep emotional, being able to feel safe enough to feel your emotions, to recognize that you're not separate from anyone else, and to start to realize that there is no real threat. that you thinking that you need to obtain all these resources for yourself is actually what's leading to the faster decline of your vitality, because you're not allowing yourself to be supported. And nothing wrong with grasping out and going out and getting the thing done. But just to say, where is that coming from? Where is that action coming from? Is that action coming from a deep alignment and center and like inspiration from the heart? Or is it coming from like, I'm fucking terrified of dying and aging, and I need to go out and grab all the things I can to stop myself from doing that? And then it's not going to work. You're going to die. You're going to age. So if the sooner we can take on that view of other people are not a threat, and that you will be supported. I mean, I'm deeply struggling. Like, I've always struggled with allowing myself to receive for all that I've created. And that is my practice right now of like, okay, I'm going to be supported. I will be supported. I'm going to keep doing what I love and giving what I love, and it's going to be okay. And it's a really beautiful thing to recognize that the way that resources are tied up is the same way that our internal resources are tied up and being exhausted. The outside society is a mirror of what we're all like physiologically experiencing. And those who are not experiencing that, they are able to go out and do this type of work and be like, okay, y'all, we're safe. Like, let's take care of each other. So it's such a deep topic that I only just scratched the surface of it, but I had to mention it because there is a deeper philosophical, almost like answer to this question of beauty and aging, and it has to do with the sense of self.
Definitely. And this is reminding me of the blog article you just wrote maybe a week or so ago that I read before this episode that is all about how safety and presence are the ultimate source of our wellness and thereby our beauty. So, yeah, maybe that's like a good place to close is, what are your favorite practices for cultivating that presence? Maybe you could share just a little bit more about what Qigong is for people who don't know, and if there's any particular practices that really help bring you or you've seen for clients into that presence.
Yes. So yeah, Qigong is the love of my life, I would say. The definition is Qi, you can think of as vitality or aliveness or prana, and Gong means cultivation. So it's vitality cultivation. I always tell people it's the practice of learning to feel more alive. There are thousands of styles of Qigong, so the one that I do is definitely not the one that you need to do, but I do have an on-demand platform, and all the practices not all the practices, but the basic practices that I do, I put on that platform and on my YouTube channel because I so strongly believe in their ability to increase people's quality of life. So some examples of this, there's something called embryonic breathing. And it's where you expand your abdomen, breathe in, and then exhale and squeeze it in. And when you're getting the blood flowing into what's called the lower dantian or xia dantian, then we call the lower dantian like the center for physical vitality. So if you feel physically weak or low energy, this is the place you want to bring your mind, your blood flow, your awareness. You can do it in seated meditation as well. Just the Qigong is a more vigorous form, the embryonic breathing, so that the blood flow really goes there, and then therefore the chi flow, the awareness, the healing also goes there. Stronger digestion, again, stronger in this digestive strength. It's called Piwei Lun. It's like the spleen stomach school of Chinese medicine. Strengthen your digestion, whole body gets healthier. So yeah, embryonic breathing is something I do almost every day. Spinal cord, it's called crane neck and turtle. And I have YouTube shorts on this. But I also have like 100-day Qigong challenge on my on-demand platform. And these are some of the first practices I teach, because the use of your spine is the use of your whole body. What is coming out from your spine? All your nerves that go to your muscles, your organs, like everything in your body, like all these messages coming in and out of the spine. So when you're opening up your spine, it's like opening up the vitality and aliveness of your whole body, your brain, your organs, all your parts. So I tell people to learn how to relax the spine with these undulating movements, but also to learn how to bring the awareness to the spine. Because throughout the day, again, forward head posture, pelvis in a weird position, this is going to impact your nervous system. The position of your spine impacts your nervous system. So why in seated meditation is posture so important? Because the posture is what's allowing your physiology to shift into deep states of awareness and concentration, which again, you could call healing states. So yeah, spine awareness is a big part of Qigong practice. And then I would say grounding. Every single morning, I put my feet on the actual ground, like I go outside. I have a backyard, thankfully, and put my feet on the ground, stand in what's called horse stance. And I just breathe in and out of my feet and connect to the ground and feel gratitude for the earth. I feel gratitude for my physical body, and I expand my mind out into like as far and vast as I can imagine. And I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, like here I am. I'm alive. Here's the ground. Here's the sky. And I am this channel for bringing all these beautiful ideas and visions into physical form. So it's this self-inspiring practice because I'm feeling connected to these larger forces. And that's one of the practices I also do every day. It's like I'm connected to larger forces. I'm supported by larger forces. I'm guided by larger forces. And I don't mean it in a religious way, but it could be, you know, to whatever your belief worldview system is. It works with Qigong. It's an embodiment practice. And so it's also every morning a great chance for me to check in and be like, how am I feeling? Like, is my mind all crazy? I also do breathing exercises every single morning, which are also on the on-demand platform. But the breathing is like a really good chance to see your mind. How well can you focus on your in and out breath that day? Not today. I can't focus today at all. What's going on? And then you realize like, oh shit, my mind is going to be like this the rest of the day. So I better get ahead of it, because that can spiral, that can snowball. And if you have that daily practice, it never really spirals too far. That's what I've noticed since making this a part of my life every single day. Kid you not, no matter what happens, I do these practices. I cannot spiral the same way. I've had the most intense last 2 years in terms of things being ripped out from underneath my feet. Every category of life unstable. And so I have really, really tested these practices. And I will tell you, they will stop you from spiraling. And then you can continue on and take the next step. So those are some of my, I would say, you know, even though they are not explicitly beauty practices, they are embodiment practices. They are nervous system regulating practices. And they are the thing that will, you know, when you do inevitably age, you will have something else to stand on. You will have another form of pleasure from within that you can access. Because what I'm talking about, yes, they're physical movements, but they're internal states. And so these internal development of these internal states is what's going to preserve your youth, but also make it okay when your youth is no longer present.
Thank you so much, Sinéad. Wow.
Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Every single thing that you share, every single time that we talk, I feel such a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude for being alive and desire to support the world and my body and everything between. So just
You're
know
doing
that
that already.
everything
I'm
you
so
do is so important. And you are one of the most beautiful people I know inside and out. And so it's just so evident that these practices of, you know, nurturing self and nurturing the world are so powerful. So thank you for being willing to share these with us and for rippling out the beauty and the wisdom that you do. It's so magical and amazing. So please share with us how people can continue to learn from you or work with you and about your beauty course. Yes.
Yeah, again, deep gratitude for this platform, for my voice to be heard. I am definitely a hermit, so I'm like endlessly grateful for a chance to be seen. And yes, resources I've already mentioned two, one of which is the Qigong on-demand platform. And there's, of course, the YouTube channel if you want to check it out first and see if it's right for you. It's got Qigong, Yin Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, and Pranayama or breathing exercises. I also have a number of Chinese medicine courses, specifically on, one's called Locating Emotions in the Body, and the other one is Qigong for Emotional Healing. And if you want to become a Qigong teacher, the courses on there, 3 of them qualify you for the basics, and then you do an in-person training and you can teach Qigong. So this is another thing that's listed on the on-demand page at the bottom. I'm soon going to create a separate page for it. So if it's gone missing, just click around a little bit at the top and you'll find the courses. But right now it's under membership page. And then, so the YouTube channel, Inner Body Data with Sinéad. I post much more on my Instagram at Inner Body Data about cosmetic acupuncture and natural beauty. So if that's your jam, you can go there. And then in terms of the natural beauty course, it's also on the innerbodydata.com, my website. And it is a 5-week natural beauty masterclass series. The first class was about the face map and face reading. The second class is about skincare. This week, I'm going to be talking about the science of cosmetic acupuncture and advanced facial massage techniques and customized microneedling stem cells and things that you can utilize, or what to expect from actually coming in for a treatment with me and learning whether or not that can help your particular condition and what realistically you can expect from the natural beauty world compared to other procedures that you could do. And then in the last 2 classes, we'll be talking about nutrition supplements, herbs for beauty, and then hormone health for beauty, which we'll talk a lot more about the Qigong. So that's the 5-week course. It's discounted for founding members until the June 15th. So if this episode comes out before then, you can jump on that really, really low price. It's going up. It's 50% discounted right now. Then it'll still be available, but you can also drop in for single classes if you have one interest in one of those topics. And then, I'm always cooking up something new. So just stay in touch on Instagram. You can always email me if you're in North Carolina or Kauai and you're interested in treatment. I will be getting my Florida acupuncture license soon as well. Just waiting for the approval to come. The application is in. So for those of you who happen to be in Miami, South Beach, I will be coming to you soon with all my natural beauty magic. So please tell your friends, because I'm very excited for this new chapter in a new city. I travel a lot, so I'll be between the 3, but Miami is the new home base soon.
So exciting. Can't wait to come hang out.
I can't wait for you to come to Definitely some Jing depletion, but also a lot.
You know what? We will be replenishing that Jing simultaneously.
Lots of replenishment and lots of depletion.
Definitely worth it.
But if your listeners went to the Jing podcast, they know your girl doesn't drink alcohol. Your girl your girl is a purist. However, staying awake late, that'll do it. That'll deplete your Jing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do when we're in Miami.
Go to Miami instead. Oh, I love you so much. Thank you so, so much. And can't wait for the next episode.
Same.
You're incredible.
Yeah.
Everyone send us your questions for men's health. And if you have other questions for Sinéad too, because I'm sure there will be lots of episodes to come.
Yes, men's health, hormone health, questions about sexual energy, which is actually something we didn't get to today, but I would say the very, very last note, kind of like a teaser for our future episodes, your relationship with desire, being turned on, and sexual energy will transform your relationship to beauty as well. And we'll talk about why next time we speak.
What a cliffhanger.
I love you, Abby.
Okay, I love you. Stop.